In this video, we're getting into how to practice self-care as a mom. If you've ever felt like taking care of yourself is selfish or a burden, this video is for you. Let's address the obvious right up front. I am not a mom. Never have been. I had one. I've married to one, but I've never been a mom. I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins. I'm a professional psychologist and I have worked with moms for my entire career. I've learned a few things about self-care, and I have 3 specific ideas to share with you today that will transform the way you take care of yourself as a mom. First of all, let's redefine self-care as a responsibility, not a reward. Self-care is not about escaping your life. I still remember a commercial that was on television years ago for Calgon, and it was, "Calgon, take me away." I'm not saying that a luxurious bath with some product like that would be a bad idea. In fact, it may be a very good part of your self-care routine. The problem that I see with that is maybe self-care is a reward. So after you've done all of the responsibilities, after you check everything off of your list, then you're going to go soak and unwind and relax as a reward. So let's reverse that a little bit. A concept that I learned years ago in a program called the Strategic Coach that was founded by Dan Sullivan is that you create and protect your free time first. We have it in our heads that once we do all of our work, then we can relax and enjoy. And I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I'm saying it's probably backwards. What if we were to take really good care of ourselves so that we can show up and get our checklist done? You've already noticed that your energy is very different after a vacation, after some free time, after you've had a chance to unwind and relax. It energetically changes the way you show up for all of your activities. And I think the tradition, in a typical work week, for example, people go to work from 9 to 5, they work all week, and then they get a weekend. What if we were to think of the weekend as being at the front part of the week and not the end of the week? That's what we do to prepare ourselves for the coming week. It's simply a mindset shift. And it creates an energetic approach to whatever's coming next. So rather than escaping life being the way we define self-care, what if it's creating the energy to show up for the people who are most important to you, for the tasks that are essential, in a way that carries a rich, abundant energy? When you're well, when you're energy rich, everyone around you benefits from that. This is particularly important for moms. You've probably already noticed that your kids can tell what your energy is. And if you're all tapped out and stressed out, they're going to show up differently as well. Have you noticed? So with that as a guide, would you be open to sharing an idea that comes to your mind? Down in the comments, go ahead and type it in. Something that you could do that would be energy rich for you. And again, this is a responsibility, not a reward. Now let's move on to that second point. We're going to anchor our self-care in mindset, not in activities. Mindset. How you do anything is how you do everything, and that's because it's driven by the same mind. The same mental processes and narratives are showing up everywhere. The way you parent, the way you do your fitness or nutrition, the way you show up in your key relationships, all of that is driven by the same mind. So mindset is extremely important. Let me give you an example with a concept that I call paradigm. Now, that's a $10 psychological word. We make up words in psychology. It makes us feel smart. And this is one of them. Paradigm is simply the way you see things. So you can think of it kind of like a pair of eyeglasses. You know, when I look through these lenses, it changes everything for me, the way that I see it. And can you picture if these lenses were tinted green? What would the world look like to me? It would be the Emerald City. My lawn would look awesome. My family, not so much. Now, does that mean the world is green? No. It just looks green to me because of the lenses that I'm wearing. If you'll think of paradigm that way, it's like a pair of lenses that you're looking through. There are two primary paradigms, mindsets, if you will, and they have very different outcomes. So let's look at the victim paradigm and the agent paradigm. When I say victim, I don't mean a victim of crime or trauma or abuse. I mean a victim pair of lenses, a victim way of seeing the world. In a victim paradigm, for example, there's always blame. Wasn't me. Oh. And then you find that favorite target of blame to point to. You'll see this in social media. You'll see this in the mainstream media. Who's to blame? As if that's the most important question. Where's my mindset? Am I blaming? Years ago, if you come back with me about 2 decades, I was in the darkest, most difficult situation of my entire adult life as I was facing a bankruptcy. Now, I'm not proud of that. I hadn't signed up for it. It's not what I wanted, but that's where I found myself. And in that circumstance, I was so consumed with my problems. I remember Carrie Fisher said this. Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia of Star Wars fame, she said, "I have problems. They don't have me." There's something really compelling in that, but my problems had me. Have you ever been in that place where it's just like your problems are totally consuming you? My problems had me. And it was during that time that I had an inspiring interview with Mary Louise Zeller. This octogenarian, she's well into her 80s and a 6-degree black belt in Taekwondo. This grandma can kick you the next Thursday. And I'm interviewing her on the mic. Well, she knew a little bit about my situation, and she leaned forward so that I would hear this, because I think it was just for me. And she said, "Paul, the troops are not coming." And then she followed it with this: "We are the troops." She might as well have kicked me. I'm glad she didn't. That would have really hurt. But she kick-started me out of that victim mindset where I was huddled in some corner. Waiting for what? For whom? The troops to come? And I didn't realize I was there. My lenses at the time were victim lenses. I was blaming the economy and waiting for the economy to change. Do you see how those go hand in hand? Once the economy changes, once those troops show up, then I'll be fine. I was blaming the insurance companies. Once they start compensating psychologists fairly, when those troops come, then I'll be fine. I was waiting for the guys I had invested with. I used to call it investing. I now know that it was gambling. Once they pay me but what they owe me, once they pay me back, then I'll be fine. Once those troops show up, and I'm sure they will. I mean, they promised, and as soon as they get out of prison, I'm sure that's pretty high on their priority list to pay back Dr. Paul, right? How long am I willing to wait for the troops to come? And I saw that. My eyes were open to it. This stings a little bit, okay? Self-care is more about mindset than it is about specific activities, because your mindset drives everything. And I needed that little kickstart. Awareness precedes choice. And so as I became aware of that, then I could choose a different mindset and go from the victim of blaming, where my fingers are pointing, to a mindset of agency, where my hands are wrapped on my own steering wheel. And this bites a little. You ever done this where you're out driving and you get lost in your thoughts and you go right past your exit. And I've done this more than I care to admit. And I know I'm in the wrong place. I was traveling in southern Utah, a state here in the United States, and I'm down going to see a client. I know I'm in the wrong place. I missed my exit when I see that big colorful sign. Arizona welcomes you. Arizona? I not only missed my exit, I missed the whole state. And here I am. I look down. Whose hands do I see on my steering wheel? See, when your hands are on the wheel, you're not pointing. But when you're pointing, your hands aren't on the wheel. The bad news is also the good news. If my hands are on the wheel, what can I do? That's good news. I can steer this. I can drive it. I can take it somewhere. Self-care is more about mindset than it is about activities. Now let's get to that third point, which I promised you. And that is that we get to use micro moments of self-care throughout the day. This doesn't have to be a huge, momentous activity. We already determined that it's more about mindset than activity. What if we could do micro moments where we get to pause and feel profound gratitude for the rich, abundant life that we already have? To experience peace and joy here and now. How is that even possible? I'll give you 3 specific ideas of micro moments that you could build into your routine every day. Here's the first one, grounding. There's an accumulating body of research that shows that grounding helps us to create an energetic shift inside of our bodies and our minds. The way this happens ideally is that you put your bare feet on Mother Earth. Go outside. Take off your shoes. Walk around in the grass or put your feet on the dirt. It's less effective, by the way, if it's man-made materials like concrete and steel. What if you could just put your feet on Mother Earth for a few minutes each day? This is so simple and yet so powerful. I think energetically there's something that happens when we practice grounding. And I try to do that on a daily basis, at least a couple of times a day, whenever I can. Grounding. Here's another one, gratitude. Gratitude is a simple way to shift the energetic focus of your mind. And you can just simply ask yourself, what am I grateful for right now in this moment? As you pause from whatever activity you're doing, what am I grateful for right now in this moment? Bring it to the present and don't make stuff up. You have to be grateful for it for this to actually count. As you bring that into your mind, focus on it for a moment. Feel the gratitude. Allow yourself to feel that. That creates a little energetic shift for you. And the third little hack that I have for you is breathing. Let me give you a little pattern that you could follow. In through the nose. And when you fill up your lungs, take a little extra sip right at the top to stretch it a little bit and then hold. Just hold that for a moment. Feel the stretch in your lungs and then release slowly through the mouth. Purse your lips right here so that you restrict the flow. Kind of like you're blowing out birthday candles, and you want that exhale to be about twice as long as the inhale was. You got the timing there? Just in through the nose, extra sip, hold, and check for tension while you're holding, and then out through the mouth, nice and slow. Those are 3 simple things that you can do to create those micro moments of self-care. It generates a little energetic shift for you so that you can work on the more important part, which is your mindset. Was that helpful today? Will you share this episode with someone else? And are you ready to take another step toward your positive parenting? I've got you. I've put together a web class just for you to come and enjoy some ideas about positive parenting and how you can do that more on purpose. Go to the URL that's listed right here, drpauljenkins.com/parenting. That is my gift to you. I'll see you there.